If you were lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life it stays with you, for Paris is a movable feast. The man who has begun to live more seriously within begins to live more simply without. I love sleep. My life has the tendency to fall apart when I'm awake. You know, every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. Ernest Hemingway quotes about writing, "If a writer knows enough about what he is writing about, he may omit things that he knows." The dignity of movement of an iceberg is due to only 1/9 of it being above WATE. I'm not going to get into the ring with Tolstoy. All modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn. It's none of their business that you have to learn how to write. Let them think you were born that way. All our words from loose using have lost their edge. I always rewrite each day up to the point where I stopped. When it is all finished, naturally you go over it. You get another chance to correct and rewrite when someone else types it, and you see it clean in type. The last chance is in the proofs. You're grateful for these different chances. You can write any time people will leave you alone and not interrupt you. Or, rather, you can if you will be ruthless enough about it. But the best writing is certainly when you are in love. My aim is to put down on paper what I see and what I feel in the best and simplest way. Things may not be immediately discernible in what a man writes, and in this sometimes he is fortunate, but eventually they are quite clear, and by these and the degree of alchemy that he possesses, he will endure or be. There is no rule on how to write. Sometimes it comes easily and perfectly. Sometimes it's like drilling rock and then blasting it out with charges. You see, I am trying in all my stories to get the feeling of the actual life across, not to just depict life or criticize it, but to actually make it alive. So that when you have read something by me, you actually experience the thing. You can't do this without putting in the bad and the ugly as well as what is beautiful. A man's got to take a lot of punishment to write a really funny book. Never confuse movement with action. There is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. On the Star, you were forced to learn to write a simple declarative sentence. This is useful to anyone. Newspaper work will not harm a young writer and could help him if he gets out of it in time. A serious writer is not to be confounded with a sullen writer. A serious writer may be a hawk or a buzzard or even a popinjay, but a sullen writer is always a bloody owl. Pounds crazy. All poets are. They have to be. You don't put a poet like Pound in the loony bin. Once writing has become your major vice and greatest pleasure, only death can stop it. For a true writer, each book should be a new beginning where he tries again for something that is beyond attainment. He should always try for something that has never been done or that others have tried and failed. Then sometimes, with great luck, he will succeed, I rewrote the ending to Farewell to Arms, the last page of it, 39 times before I was satisfied. I don't like to write like God. It is only because you never do it, though, that the critics think you can't do it. From things that have happened and from things as they exist and from all things that you know and all those you cannot know, you make something through your invention that is not a representation but a whole new thing truer than anything true and alive, and you make it alive, and if you make it well enough, you give it immortality. For a long time now I have tried simply to write the best I can. Sometimes I have good luck and write better than I can. Forget your personal tragedy. We are all bitched from the start, and you especially have to be hurt like hell before you can write seriously. But when you get the damned hurt, use it, don't cheat with it.